Come on now, let's get it up. Open it now. Now, go. Come on. Look, let's go. Energy. Up the. Now. Energy. Let's go. Hey, what's going on, everybody? It is a beautiful Wednesday night, and we are here back with the Breakin Ankle Show. I'm the host with the most, the point guard of podcast, and the absolute self-proclaimed CBB GOAT. And we are live here to bring you some of the night plays on this Wednesday slate. And I'm going to bring it to you now. What's going on? Get into the chat. Like and subscribe to the channel if it's your first time here on the GunzPicks channel. Please like, please subscribe, hit the bell, do all that things. Also, you can find me on also the social media networks at GunzPicks. If you don't know how to spell it, the name is right there. And you can follow me on X. You can follow me on Instagram, and you can follow me on TikTok. I put clips out all the time so you don't miss the plays that paid the bills. Also, Matthew Owen says, let's go. Just cashed USC TCU moneyline parlay, ready to break some ankles. Give him the horn for that. Listen, I got a little bit of a side future there on USC to win the Pac-12. I think they're in a good position right now. The healthiest this team has been all season long. They're supposed to be one of the better teams in the Pac-12. Unfortunately, injuries caught up to them. I think they were in a perfect situation to maybe win the whole dang thing. And you can get a good price on it, too. Kind of went down. I think it's down to plus 14. It was 1,400 this morning. I got it at like 2,000 or something like that when it came out. Actually, no, it was like 4,000 when it came out or something like that, but it dropped drastically. So just see if you can go grab that now. As you guys are starting to watch now, let's get into the plays that paid the bills. Right now, I got 5 bangers for you today. Let's start with a 7 o'clock game that's coming up here. ACC action in Capital One Arena, Washington, D.C. 7 p.m. is the tip, and it's NC State versus Syracuse. Syracuse is the favorite here, and I'm going to be taking them here. Minus 1.5 is the number that I got. Syracuse, minus 1.5, 1 unit play. Let's talk about it. Statistically, on the offensive side, you have NC State, 64th in offensive efficiency, 138th on the free throw line, 184th in field goal percentage, 178th in offensive rebounding. Going up against defense here for Syracuse, that's 88th in defensive efficiency, 306th in defending shots, 301st in defensive rebounding, 26th in allowing opponents to get to the free throw line, which is a key statistic on that one. However, the defensive side is a little bit lacking here for the Orange. Offensively, though, a little bit better for the offensive side, 146th in field goal percentage and 184th in free throw percentage, or 88th in offensive efficiency. And they're going against a defense that is just as bad on the defensive side, 209th in defending shots, 205th in defensive rebounding, and they're 297th in defending the three, which is going to be big in this game. Also, they are very aggressive and get fouls. They're 285th in allowing opponents to the free throw line. And you got to look at where Syracuse is coming from right now. They're playing good basketball right now, winning 4 out of the last 5 games of the season. And they're off a 15-point road loss to Clemson. So there's a chip on their shoulder mentality going into this game. And they're going against an NC State team that is a falling knife. They're losing 7 out of the last 10 games, going 4-6 ATS in that span, while 3 of those were big covers as 8-point or more dogs, which is a good situation for Syracuse, knowing they're a short favorite in this situation on a neutral court. And then you have Syracuse has already beaten NC State twice this season as 1-point dogs and 6-point dogs. Now you've seen them as a favorite in a neutral court. That should be a line statistic functionality there. Also, the history with Syracuse against NC State. They've done exceptionally well. 7-0 straight up, 6-1 ATS last 7 meetings versus NC State. I think it's a perfect spot to go taking Syracuse on this one at Capital One Arena, Washington, D.C. Give me Syracuse, first play of the night, minus 1.5, 1 unit banger, baby. And he says, man, do I love that USC is nice love the way USC is playing. Yeah, they're playing really good right now. It's because they got their main guards back. Boogie Ellis getting back in that lineup was huge. Missing those guards in that lineup, having a strong backcourt is very important, not only in conference tournament, but in NCAA tournament play. The best backcourts are typically the ones that you see in the Final Four and competing for national championship crowns. All right, as we take a little sip of the potion, hit the 3-wheel motion. Make sure you like and subscribe to the channel as we hit the Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Let's talk a little bit of action on this one. I'm going to give you one of my plays, and you know it. I know it. If you know the show and you know the brand, you know this is the dog of the day. Let's go. Yeah, and we're going to go a little bit on the mid-major section here. Lehigh is going against Colgate on this one. Cottrell Court, Hamilton, New York, the home of Colgate. 7 p.m. tip. They're going up against Lehigh, and I'm going to be taking the dog on this one. Lehigh plus 8.5, 1 unit. Let's talk about it. Statistically, Colgate's just the better team on numbers. We're talking 109th in defensive efficiency versus an offense for Lehigh that's 293rd in offensive efficiency. Not a good shooting team, not a good rebounding team. Decent free throw shooting team at 79th in the country in free throw percentage. On the defensive side, you look at Colgate, they're 109th defensive efficiency, 35th in defending shots. 16th in the country in allowing opponents to the free throw line. But why am I taking Lehigh? Look at the offense. Colgate's offense isn't as good as it has been historically. They are a good three-point shooting team, but they're 62nd in field goal percentage, they're 300th in offensive rebounding, and they're 312th in the free throw line. Bad free throw shooting team, doesn't cover spreads, especially when you're looking at 8s and 9s that you're trying to hit in these games. And then Lehigh on the defensive side, if there's any strength of their defense, any strength for Lehigh, it is their defense. They're 181st in defensive efficiency, 124th in turnover percentage. They're 9th in the country in defensive rebounding, so they get to the boards, and they're 80th in the country in allowing opponents to the free throw line. Now, Lehigh has played very well in the past couple of months, late in the season, February and March. So 7-2 straight up and ATS in the last 9 games, and they've excelled in the dog role all season long. If you've looked at the numbers on this one, they're 11-1 ATS as a dog this season, 14-3 ATS on the road this season, primarily. Most of those situations they were a dog in. And it's also the third meeting versus Colgate. For Lehigh, Lehigh is 0-2 straight up, but 2-0 ATS versus them this season, losing both contests by 3 points. And they were big dogs in this one. And if you actually look at the first matchup on this one, they're 8.5 dogs. They were 11 in the same spot in January when they faced Colgate. So there is a line functionality there where they made the line a lot lower, which leads me to believe it's more of a Lehigh line than it is a Colgate line. And while Colgate has been winning games, they haven't been covering a lot of spreads, if you notice. They're 1-6 ATS in the last 7 games, but they're winning the games. So no, I don't think Lehigh could possibly win this game. Maybe they can. I'm looking at the spread on this one, and I think this is one of those things that when Lehigh sits in this position, being a dog, especially a high dog versus a conference opponent, a team that has beat them twice already this year, and it's the line functionality is saying take Lehigh. They can cover in these situations. They're red hot doing it. Let's take Lehigh on this one. Lehigh plus 8.5, 1 unit play, baby. As we get into the chat, Peter is always in the building. True gun disciple. Attaboy Guns sipping on the potion to take the 3-wheel motion. Yes, sir. And then, of course, Lehigh, good as a dog. ATS, 11-1 ATS. Why not just keep following that trend? And it's not like I would think that Colgate playing at home, they were 11-point favorite versus Lehigh in the first matchup. You would think if it was a Colgate line, should have gone up. 13, 14. It's not. It's 8.5, 8. So maybe even dropping by the time we get to tip off here. It is at 7 o'clock, less than an hour away, but we'll see on that one. I got it at 8.5. I see 8s out there now, so go grab it. Lehigh plus 8.5 is my number. All right, let's go to the next play on the board as we take a sip of the potion. Refreshing. All right, let's go into this one. St. Louis versus Duquesne, Barclays Center. It is in Brooklyn, New York. If you're not familiar, it's where the Brooklyn Nets play. 7:30 p.m. is the tip. We're going with Duquesne on this one, minus 8.5, going with the favorite, heavy favorite on this one. Kind of an alarming line. Look at these matchups, but I think it's the perfect spot here for Duquesne to get it done. Statistically, Duquesne just a better team. You got a St. Louis offense that's 90th in offensive efficiency, 140th in field goal percentage, 273rd in the country in offensive rebounding, 52nd on the free throw line. If there's any strength on this one, they can shoot their free throws. However, they're going to get to good defense here for Duquesne. That's their strength. 42nd in defensive efficiency, 68th in defending shots, 47th in creating turnovers, 36th in blocks, 55th in the country in steals. Not too bad for a team that is in one of the lower conferences in the country. As far as the they're just above mid-major, in my opinion. St. Louis on this one on the defensive side, they're one of the worst defenses, though. 331st in defensive efficiency, 339th in defending shots. They don't get a lot of turnovers, and they allow their opponents to get to the free throw line, ranked 251st in that statistical category. And then you got to look at the situation here. You got St. Louis as a dog, right? This season as a dog, especially a single-digit dog of 4 points or more, they're 1-12 straight up, 2-11 ATS in those spots. They've just not done well statistically in those trends. Now you got Duquesne. On the other side, in this number, they've actually played extremely well, especially in the last 2 months. They had a 5-game losing streak, if you remember, and then they just went on this run late January. Since then, they're 11-3 straight up, 9-5 ATS run right now for Duquesne, and they played some pretty good teams in their own conference. These two teams did meet on February 20th. Duquesne did win the game 81-66 as 9-point home favorites. Why that's important is you're playing at a neutral site right now when realistically you're playing with the same line as they did when they were at Duquesne. That tells you something there. This is a neutral court. There should have been a little bit of a middle of the number, maybe tick it down 2 points or something like that, maybe 3. But if Duquesne is playing with virtually the identical line that they did when they played at home, that tells you something there. Also, Duquesne 6-2 ATS the last 8 meetings between these two teams. I think this is a perfect spot to be going on the Duquesne side. I just can't trust St. Louis, and I'd rather trust the hotter team than the colder team. Give me Duquesne -8.5, 1 unit bang up, baby. Woo! Ha! Michael in the building says, "What's up? What's up, my guy? How you doing today?" And he loves the points. Get him up, Peter. Give him the horn. As we see 107 of you beautiful people out there watching the Breakin Ankle Show, make sure you like and subscribe to the channel. At least hit the thumbs up. You don't have to subscribe. You don't have to ring the bell. I'd appreciate it if you do. But if anything you're doing as you're watching this video, there's a thumb on the YouTube channel. Hit this. If you're watching on Twitter, get your ass over onto YouTube. The link is in my post. So go check it out here on the GunzPicks channel. All right. Next play that is coming up on the board here. Let's see what we got as we scroll up. All right. I'll save this last play for the 9 p.m. We got 2 9 p.m. Plays to give you on this one. And of course, I'm wearing the hat for a reason. So I'm going to be talking about this Michigan-Penn State game. Target Center, Minneapolis, Minnesota, Big Ten action. And we're going with Penn State. I'm going to fade this Michigan team until I'm blue in the face. And this is probably the last time I'm going to be able to do it because Michigan's season is going to be done tonight. Penn State -6.5 is the number that I got. 1 unit play. Statistically, you got Michigan 89th in offensive efficiency going against the Penn State defense. It's 100th in defensive efficiency. On the Penn State offensive side, they're 74th in offensive efficiency going up against a Michigan defense. It's 194th in defensive efficiency. They're bad at creating turnovers. They're bad at defensive rebounding. They're bad at contesting shots. So if anything, the Penn State's going to be able to do whatever they want on the offensive side of the ball. Then you got to see where Michigan is. They've been a falling knife since December. I mean, this team is 2-18 straight up, 3-15 ATS since December 20th. Their only wins this season in conference are Ohio State and Wisconsin. And they just caught them into bad spots. And granted that, Michigan, Ohio State has some sort of rivalry in there. But this team is awful altogether. They don't cover spreads. They don't win games. They're an unbackable team. And these two teams have played each other already. They played on January 7th on a neutral floor. Penn State won the game 79-73 as 3-point dogs. Now the line has swung the other way for good reason because they're playing a Michigan team that is all sorts of bad. Plus, you got to look at the revisionist history. You got Penn State 6-1 ATS in the last 7 meetings versus Michigan. I will not put my hard-earned money on Michigan. I would rather fade them altogether. I've been doing it all season. I'm going to continue to do it here. We're going to do it here on this play here. Give me Penn State -6.5, 1 unit play. Hit the horn. Woo! Getting back to Michael. He said, nice day so far. Texas -4.5. Lehigh +8.5. Santa Barbara. Ooh, you like Santa Barbara today, -2.5. I'll have to look at that one later. I might add some plays. So that is why you got to follow me on X. I have some late plays. And if I do like something when I'm looking at the board, or I like where the line is, I may jump on it. So go check that out. I am on X at GunzPicks, and also just follow me on all social media platforms across the board. Michael, kind of like the under in that 150.5 in that Penn State game. I could only bet Penn State there, though. Yes, I agree with you there. I just like the side, leave the total for the Birds. I wish I put the total out on the Florida State game today versus Virginia Tech. I did take that, and I didn't put it on my card, and I'm kicking myself for doing it because it was a late add to my card. All right, Matthew Owen says, Guns, you got any thoughts on the New Mexico revenge spot? Oh, yeah, they lost. So they lost to Air Force, right? Lions 14.5. If you actually look at the positioning of the line for New Mexico, they typically don't do well with that line functionality. I wish it was like 16 or 17. That kind of makes me feel a little bit more comfortable there. However, Air Force, historically, no matter how bad that team is, they've got New Mexico State's number. I'm not touching it whatsoever. You could really have, and I would love to take Air Force. However, the fact that Air Force beat them straight up as a double-digit dog, like 10.5 the last time they played, I got to stay off of it because you're right. New Mexico could be in a revenge spot and could blow the doors off of them. But this is a conference tournament on a neutral floor. You have to save some energy for the rest of the tournament. And New Mexico's in a position right now. They're a bubble team. They're playing for their tournament lives. They can't just go out there and donkey punch Air Force and save nothing for the next round. They're going to go and keep winning and keep winning and keep winning. So there could be a strategic element there. That's why I'm hands off of that game altogether. It could be one of those games where they could win by 12 or 11, and then you're just stuck holding a 14.5 ticket and got to throw it in the trash. So yeah, I'm just staying off of that one. I could see that game going either way. But I gave you 4 plays. I will recap at the end of the show, but I got to give out my best bet of the night. Best bet. And yes, it is another 9 p.m. game. We are going to the WAC, and the WAC is not whack. The WAC is MAC. I think that makes sense. Is the MAC? We'll work on that one. All right, Cal Baptist is going against here Utah State. They're going to that Orleans Arena. If you remember, the WCC just finished their tournament in incredible fashion. St. Mary's did win it versus Gonzaga, punch their ticket to the tournament. Now we get to watch the WAC go at it here. Las Vegas, Nevada is the spot. 9 p.m. is the tip. And I'm going with Utah Valley on this one. -4.5. I found a 4.5. Yes, there's 5s, there's 5.5, there's 6s. It's fine. Go grab it. I'm taking 4.5 as my number here. 1 unit play. Let's talk about it. UVU's strength is their defense. Their offense isn't great, but they could play great defense. They're 64th in defensive efficiency. They're 57th in defending shots. They're 102nd in the country in turnover percentage and 104th in defensive rebounding. You might say to yourself, those are average stats, but for a team in the mid-majors, those are pretty good stats there for a mid-major team. Because when you look at the offensive side here for Cal Baptist, not strong at all. They're 242nd in offensive efficiency. They're 312th in field goal percentage. They're 221st in the country in turning over the ball. And the 304th from the free throw line percentage-wise. So this is an offense here that's lackluster at best. So there's a huge advantage, in my opinion, by taking Utah Valley. And then you got to look at Utah Valley, finished this season strong, 7 out of the last 8 games, winning them straight up, and also 6-2 ATS in that span. And then you got Utah Valley is in a great line position for them. If you actually look at the 4.5s in that 5, 6, 7 range, their 4-0 ATS is a favorite of 4 points or more. So you got the line correlation there that fits suitably for a Utah Valley cover. This is the third meeting between those two teams. Utah Valley won and covered both as 2-point home favorites and 2.5 point road dogs. Now the line on a neutral floor has jumped up to 2, 3, maybe even 4 points by the time we get to tip. So that is kind of unusual when you see that. But when that happens, you need to jump on it because typically it's telling a story. It's telling you to take the favorite in this spot. Also, got to look at Cal Baptist, 2-9 straight up in ATS the last 11 games, 3-6 ATS as a dog. And then Utah Valley is 5-0 straight up in ATS in the last 5 meetings versus Cal Baptist. So all the boxes are checked for me to take this as my best bet. I love this game. I love this team. They're covering great. They're 6-2 ATS in the last 8. They're going against the Cal Baptist team in line functionality purposes. It's not a good spot for them. They're 2-9 straight up in ATS in the last 11. I got to be rolling with Utah Valley on this one. Let's get it done. Orleans Arena, 9 p.m. Give me Utah Valley, -4.5, 1 unit banger, baby. Woo! So I just threw out 5 plays. Also got to answer my guy Goose. Any thoughts on Arkansas? Yeah, they stink. How about that? Okay. Yeah, no thought on that game. I just every time I see Arkansas, I just say pass. I don't like that team. There's something wrong with the program altogether. Hogs, pigs, suey. They've given me nothing all year. So I don't want to even touch that game. Not a spot I'm looking at right now. Yeah, good read on Utah Valley line there. Yeah, I think it's a perfect spot on this one. I don't think a lot of people touch these little rinky-dink games. I could be wrong on this one, but I think Utah Valley's in the perfect spot. So I'm going to do it once more time. All right. So to recap for everybody that's watching now, all you beautiful bastards out there, let's talk the plays. We're going Lehigh, dog of the day, +8.5, 1 unit play. We're going to go Duquesne, -8.5, 1 unit play. We're going to go Syracuse, -1.5. At Washington, D.C. Penn State, -6.5, 1 unit play. And I'm going to go Utah Valley, -4.5, another unit to give to the people. So there are the 5 plays that pay the bills. And those are going to do it here for the Breakin' Ankle Show. Thanks for everybody that is joining me on any one of the social media platforms that I go live. Please like and subscribe to the GunzPicks channel. Please hit the bell. Please hit the thumbs up so we can grow this thing up to the building. And I just gave you my thoughts on Arkansas State. I am not touching that game with a 10-foot pole. I just every time I look at Arkansas State games, and if you know anything about my betting strategy, I have not touched that team at all. I just don't trust them. I don't know where their motivation is. I hate it. I lean whoever team. I don't care who they're playing. They could be playing Mary School for the Blind. They're playing Vanderbilt, right? Yeah. I 2 teams I don't like. Vanderbilt's terrible too. You might as well be playing Missouri. You tell me Missouri and Arkansas, I'll do this. I can't even do. I can't touch that game. Oh, Arkansas. I said Arkansas, didn't I? I thought I said I said Razorbacks. Did I not say Razorbacks? I was talking about the Razorbacks. If I said Arkansas State, I'm sorry. That was just me talking a little bit too fast. I meant Arkansas. Arkansas is playing Vanderbilt. I'm not touching it. That's my opinion on it. And I don't suggest anybody touching that game. We got to go play. There's plenty of opportunities to play SEC ball. We got to wait till tomorrow. Then the good teams are going to play. We have Missouri playing today. They haven't won a game since I was 8. At this point, it feels like it. They've lost 18 in a row or something like that, 19 in a row. Yeah, the SEC games are awful today, so I don't like them. But yes, those are the plays. That's going to do it here. I don't know if there's going to be a show tomorrow. I'm going to DC to go watch my Duke Blue Devils play in the quarterfinals tomorrow. I will post some plays. I may do it from the arena. Post a video, slap the plays on there, just do something real quick for you guys. I will give you plays. Don't worry about it. Don't know if there's going to be a show tomorrow because I will be in DC watching the games. So good luck tonight. Let's cash some tickets. Let's dominate the boat. And as always, let's keep dancing. Bang!